Hi Flosstube, it's Lily again and welcome back to my channel, or welcome for the first time if you are new. I'm trying to get a video in really quick this morning while the baby's snapping. I might have to grab her if she starts crying and we'll just see how it goes from there. I'll either have, me popping in and out, or maybe I'll do part one, part two of this Flosstube video depending on how it goes. So let's see. I got everything spread out. I got my notes. Let's see how quickly I can get through this. Oh, you'll notice that I have a new channel name because when I first signed up, I wasn't sure if I was really going to get into this much or not. So I was like, oh, I'll just put my name and it'll be fine. And then, I've been doing these, fairly regularly, and I hope I keep that up. So I figured, well, let's get some other name going like everyone else does. So I decided on 42 Stitches, or Lily at 42 Stitches, because I like the number 42. It's a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reference, if anyone has read that book. And then Stitches for cross stitching, so pretty simple. It's not terribly exciting or overly creative, but it works. It's better than just Ms. Lily. So I'm also on Instagram now with a similar name. It's just 42_ stitches. And I figured Instagram's kind of a good place for me to take photos and keep track of my progress, because I don't take photos of my work and then see it myself. So then this way maybe I'll have a place that I can see, oh, on that date, that's how much I did to this date, and I can kind of compare the photos and see how much work I've done, because I just don't know. I have to rely on memory of yeah, I did this much or I did that much. Or sometimes I refer back to these Flosstube videos, but pictures are easier than having to go through the Flosstube video and figure it out. So, yeah, that's it on that. Okay, let's see. Oh, and then yesterday's video, hope you enjoyed that little 2-minute thing. I was just stuck under the baby and I was stitching, and the phone was right next to me, and I figured, well, let's just do this really quickly and see what happens. Nothing really of value, I suppose, in that video, but I just felt like doing it, so I did. So I want to thank all my subscribers. There's 466 subscribers now, I think, which is crazy awesome. Crazy awesome. Thank you everyone for subscribing to my channel. I really do enjoy doing this, and I really enjoy watching everyone else's Flosstube videos, and it really is such a great little community. So thanks. And so I'm quickly approaching 500 subscribers, and I figured, well, let's do a giveaway, because that seems to be everyone's thing to do. It seems like most people do it at 1,000, but I think 1,000 is way down the road. 500 seems like it might actually happen. So whenever I do reach the 500 subscribers, whenever that's going to be, do a giveaway. So I look through my stuff and I'm like, what can I do as a giveaway? I don't really have a lot of things that I keep stashed around, and whatever I do have stashed around, it's things that I want. But I saw that I had a duplicate of a magazine. So it's the Just Cross Stitch magazine from December 2015. So it's a while ago, but it still has some really cool things. There it is. It is really sunny out today. So hopefully I don't get too much glare here, but you could see. Maybe it'll take until about Christmas time for me to get 500 subscribers, and then it'll be perfect. Or if you want to get ahead on some Christmas things. So I'll flip through really quickly just so you can see what you can get in this fantastic magazine. We've got a nativity scene. Oh, it is very clear. Here, if I pull back, that's better. So that's very pretty. We have, what else do we have? We have a couple of funny little snowmen. Ooh, sorry, I keep forgetting I need to pull back. There we go. Funny little snowmen. We have poinsettia jewelry set, or I suppose you can put that anywhere really. You want a border, or put a couple of them together and make an ornament or something. This is the stocking from the cover, and that's pretty cool. I like those patterns where it's the words that make up a shape. I haven't done one myself, and I don't really have plans to do one yet, although maybe this one, since I have the copy. Might eventually happen, but yeah, no, it's not priority at the moment. Because this little Santa says, "Let the frolicking begin." That's adorable. I'll close without the glare. We have some cardinals in a birdhouse. I'll try and do this quick because there's a lot in here, but I just want you to know what you're getting yourself into if you do want to sign up for this. Santa. That's a nice Santa for those who are into doing those. There's a little hardinger ornaments. There's a couple in here that I know I want to do. Here's a frosted pumpkin one. Little Santa sampler. Joyeux Noël au français. Waiting for the star. Little sheep. Or lambs is what it says. This one I do plan on doing eventually. This Christmas treasure one. It's a black work thing. Probably not this year, but next year that might be something. I do want to do those. We can do those together if you get this magazine. How exciting would that be? I think there's at least one other thing in here that I wanted to do myself. So we can do those together. Little elves. I'm getting another poinsettia hardinger. What else? Oh, I think the reindeer's here. This one I want to do too, but I'm probably changing some of the colors out. Like the scarf would be a different color, the background would be something else. But I do like him. I like how grandiose his antlers are. And sort of the way he's jumping and looking back all gracefully. I think he's pretty cool. For those who celebrate Hanukkah, there's a menorah card. The Hanukkah card is what it's titled, but it's a menorah. Joy to the World, there's another one. And let me make sure that Hanukkah card is in here. Oh yeah, it's there. Okay. And then the Thanksgiving penguins. Those are really cute too. I might do those too. Not this year. I don't know. I keep saying that, but so that's all in here. And this could be yours. So once we hit 500 subscribers, I'll do another video and, you know, say something in the comments, and then we'll do a drawing. So not right now, not this video, don't leave comments in this one, but whenever we get there, I'll do another video. So what else? Let's just a quick life update. Baby's been having a fair amount of reflux and gas, which is... Poor little kid, she's just so uncomfortable, and it's waking her up a lot. Last night she was up every 2 hours, every hour and a half, which past couple nights has been kind of, well, she's just taken a long time going to sleep past couple of nights, so I don't get to bed until about midnight or so, and we're starting the bedtime process at about 9:30. So it's really just long, and it's frustrating because she's so uncomfortable, and you just don't know how to position her to make her better. She eventually does fall asleep and gives me usually like a 3-hour chunk, and then it's like 2 hours and then an hour and a half for the rest of the night, which wasn't too bad. It was just frustrating that beginning part of the night, and the night was shortened. Before that she was doing great. It was like 4.5-hour chunks and then like 2-hour chunks after that. It was great. But lately it's gotten worse, so it was that. And then last night, like I said, she went to bed pretty quickly last night, but it was I think it was just over a 2-hour stretch for the first part of the night, and then after that it was an hour and a half, an hour this morning, so we're a little tired. I'm looking really exhausted under here. I put a little concealer, mascara, and lip gloss for you guys, just so that I'm not looking like death walking. I don't even do this for my husband. You guys are getting this. You're lucky. For him, it's, you know, I'm walking around the house in t-shirts and his pajama bottoms. He still likes me anyway. I don't know why, but he does. Actually, one of his favorite photos of me, I'm looking absolutely ridiculous. I think he just likes me being ridiculous is really what it is. I'm like going out to go shoveling, and I've got like all this mismatched gear on, like a goofy wool hat with the ear flaps, and I've got like 2 different colored scarves on, and my Boston University sweatshirt under a big old chunky coat, and I'm just cheesing it up and grinning. It's like his favorite photo of me. He's a weirdo too. You don't know it when you meet him because he's really quiet, but he's a weirdo too. So yeah, so the reflux, hopefully we start resolving that. I mean, usually reflux peaks around 3 to 4 months and gets a little bit better. That's going to suck because I go back to work at 3 months, basically, just under 3 months for her. And if I don't get a lot of sleep, it's going to get really cranky. I mean, at least now, like, I can lazy around in the morning a little bit, but it's not going to happen once I start work, and I just don't know how I'm going to manage that. Plus, you know, everything else. I don't even know how we're going to do dinner at this point. I'm starting to freak out about that. Like, by the time I get home, take care of the dog, have to pick up the kids. You know, my husband's doing pickup right now and the drop-off. But he eventually has to go back to longer hours, so he might not be able to do that. And I do shorter hours, so it just makes sense for me to pick up the kids and do all that stuff. So I'm trying to start some freezer crock pot meals that hopefully can make my life a little bit easier. The good thing is I'm part-time, so it's only 3 days a week. So the other 2 plus the weekend I can kind of prep for those 3 days. Get leftovers and whatever to make life a lot easier. But I mean, you know, life happens and sometimes things are not ready. And in those cases, there's takeout and frozen fish sticks and, you know, chicken nuggets. And I am not above that when I need it. I do prefer to cook. I love to cook. I like to make good meals and all that. But sometimes that's just how it is, right? Okay. Oh, and cross-stitching. How the hell am I going to fit cross-stitching into all of that? That's what I'm doing this video about. All my videos, I feel like they're turning into baby videos and not Flosstube videos. I gotta keep on track here. But yeah, how am I gonna fit all the cross-stitching in that I want to do with all this going on? So it's gonna slow down dramatically. And like I've said in previous videos, these Flosstube videos will be once a month at best, I'm sure. Because it's not just time, but I just won't have anything to show, I'm sure. But we'll see what we can do. And I don't even have that many whips, and I still just don't know how I'm going to fit everything in. I don't know how everyone does it with all the different whips you have going on, plus all of life. Oh my god, I'm so behind. Like today and tomorrow I'm not stitching at all because I have so many other things I need to catch up on. You know, because, anyway, moving on. Oh, and lots of TV lately too, because I've been stuck under the baby. So what a couch potato! I feel like I'm such a couch potato, and I'm not doing anything. But yeah, my day goes by, and then I look back and I'm like, oh man, I was such a lazy bum. I just watched a lot of TV today. But it's not like I could have really done too much else because I had to handle the baby, and then when you're handling the baby, there's not a whole lot I can do except for reach for the remote control. So there's been a lot of Netflix going on. There's a lot of good shows out there, by the way. I'm not like a huge TV junkie. But there's been a lot of good shows. I think with my last maternity leave, I was so itching to go outside all the time, and I was actually kind of excited to go back to work. Wasn't excited about letting the kid go to daycare because you know that's hard to leave your kid with strangers. But it's I was ready to go to work. I don't think that's going to be the case this time. I'm going to wish I had more maternity leave this time. Probably because I got the 2 kids now, and you know. It's more that I need to recover and rest from and balance. But, you know, we'll work it out one way or another. People of Earth, that's a really funny show. It's really dry humor. I've been watching that lately, and it's pretty funny. And The Good Place, I don't remember hearing much about that one, but that was actually surprisingly funny. I don't know why that didn't get much attention. But I recommend those 2. That's Lily's recommendations. And for excellent feminist messages, Feud, Betty and Joan is amazing. Really strong women making it happen in a male-dominated industry. I can relate. And then The Golden Girls, which is a classic. And I've always loved Golden Girls. And now that I'm home, they're on in the morning just right about the same time that the baby naps, so I've been able to watch a lot of the Golden Girls, and they are so ahead of their time and modern. Such great issues that are still so relevant to today. Just excellent show. Plus, it's funny. And just, I love how, like, unashamed they are of their sexuality and their, you know, 50s, 60s, whatever age they are in that show. You know, you don't expect that, and I love it. I think it's great. It's like, yeah, go live your life, be yourself. It's great. Okay, that's enough of that stuff. Let me get to the whips. I have it all written down here. Because I don't want the baby to wake up. So last time I was working on the anemones, and I did get smaller needles, 28, size 28. Much better for tying off in the back. For the Ada, I felt like it kind of slipped a little bit too much through the holes, because it's Ada, so the holes are pretty big. But it was fantastic for tying off at the end, and they're going to be great for the 40 count that I'm going to be starting this Saturday, actually. So here's how far I got. So pretty much the majority of this green is what I did, and that was over the course of 5 days. I put in 6.5 hours. So let's get a closer shot for you guys. I want the sun. And it's 3 different shades of green in there. There's still a fair amount I have to do of the green before I can get to the flowers there's a couple more flowers off to the edge. Where's the photo? For comparison, I'll do a side by side. Oops. Actually, look at the small one instead of the big one so you can get. So it's getting there. It's looking pretty good. So we'll see when that happens, when that gets finished. But I put in a little bit of time with that, and I did enjoy it, but I didn't really feel as excited or eager to do that one as I was for the other ones. But I had neglected it for so long, so I had to really just have a look at it for a while, and that was that. Then after that, I moved on to the DMC Portugal Travel Through Europe sale that they have going on, and that was what I was working on in yesterday's video. I had already finished Copenhagen earlier in the morning, and so I figured let me just continue the border since I was stuck under the baby, so that Moscow is ready to go once I'm ready to do that one. Did I put the needle back? I did. Okay. I don't use needle minders. I think they're great and fantastic. I didn't even know about needle minders until I came into the Flosstube community. But I just lace them into the material on the edge somewhere where I know it's not going to be seen if it dents or damages the material. And as cute as needle minders are, I fear they'll, even with a strong magnet, I fear that I'll lose the needle. So this just makes me feel more secure that it's on here. So I stick to doing this. So, did Copenhagen. Was I talking about something before I went off the track there? Did I lose the point that I was trying to make? No. I think this is just what I was doing, is showing this. Okay, there is Copenhagen. Copenhaga is how you say it in Portuguese. The NH in Portuguese is equivalent to the Ñ in Spanish. That's the N with the squiggle on top, the tilde, for anyone who's interested. LH in Portuguese is this equivalent to the double L in Spanish, which makes the Y sound. A little trivia. So there it is, my little mermaid. I contemplated making her a redhead with the green fin, like the Little Mermaid, but then I didn't know how to do the bra on her, and if you're gonna make it look like the Little Mermaid from the Disney movies, you gotta make it all the way, I feel. And since I couldn't really work it out, I said, we'll just leave it like that, it's fine. So this took a lot longer than Amsterdam took. There's a reminder of Amsterdam, and you can just see there's a lot more stitching to Copenhagen than to Amsterdam. Plus, like, I didn't dedicate as large of chunks of time to do Copenhagen as I did Amsterdam, so all that starting, stopping, you don't really get enough of a rhythm to get much done. But that one took me 15.5 hours over 8 days, whereas Amsterdam took me 8.5 hours over 5 days. So it's a big difference between the two. And this is on 28 Count Monaco by Charles Craft. I don't think I've mentioned that, and it's just white. I'm excited to start Moscow. I like the colors that are in Moscow. I think it's going to be really fun to do. Plus, I am so sick of square buildings with square windows. I am over it. I like how it looks. And it is easy to stitch because you just, you know the size of the window and how many windows and how tall the building is, blah, 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 and then you just don't even have to reference back to the chart. But I'm so sick of it, man. I'm ready for something different. So Moscow will be fun once I do that. And I'll talk about what I'm gonna do next in a little bit. So again, this border is not part of the stitch along. I just kind of made it by looking at some patterns that I have borders and modified it to my liking. And I've shared my sketch of what I did for this border on the Facebook group. So if anyone's doing this and you want it, you can go ahead and go there and just check it out. Or do your own. Absolutely. Do what you like. You can use it. I don't care. But, you know, I encourage everyone to get a little creative and figure out what you like and what you don't like. So, yeah, there's that one. It's almost... Did I finish it? So there's a couple of stitches down here that I didn't finish. And I had just reached the end of the thread, and I didn't feel like pulling out a fresh one for just a couple stitches. So whenever I do Moscow, I'll finish that up. So it's coming along pretty nicely. The color I'm using for the border, it's not black, though it might look black. It's actually a very, very dark navy. And it's not a DMC color. So many years ago, my mom had gotten me, she found this at a yard sale or, you know, a thrift shop or something like that. And it's actually pretty cool. It's a DMC little bag, and you open it up, and let me get my junk out of here that I kind of have stashed in here at the moment. But it has a place for your needles, a little zippy thing to store more needles or whatever. These are little what are they called, floss bows, DMC ones. It came with all this stuff in it, and then it came with, you know, you can put your floss in here, and there's another thing, and all this stuff that I mean, I know that the scissors are for, but some of this other stuff I have no idea what it's for, and I haven't played around with it yet. But the floss that's in here, and I won't pull it out of the sleeves. I'm not a big fan of stitching bows, by the way. I tried it with this stuff, and I just don't like it. I'd rather bobbinate, take the time and bobbinate. But the floss that's in here, it's not DMC. I have no idea what it is. It's really not that great. Oh, I forgot to put that back in. But it's not bad. I mean, for free floss, I'll play with it. When I'm doing something that doesn't have a called for color, if I'm just sort of making something up, or like the border where I decided to add a border, I use this stuff sometimes. I feel that it gets a little tangled quicker than DMC does, so it's not really awesome, but it's not bad, and it's PDI. Let's see, hold on, PDI. If anyone knows what this is, let me know. I think I tried to look it up and I couldn't really find too much info on it. So PDI is 100% cotton, color fast, 6 strand, made in China. It works for some stuff. I don't do large projects with it, but also I have done one medium-sized project with it, and it wasn't too bad. But mystery floss. So I only have 2 skeins of this, and hopefully that's enough for the whole border. It should be, because the border's not that big, so I think it'll be fine. But I just didn't feel like using my DMC for it, so I might as well use this stuff since I don't really use it for anything else. Put this back in. Is there anything else about this? No, I think that's it. So that's coming along nicely. I'm looking forward to doing that. So those are the only things I really worked on from the last video. See, I don't have much to report, which is why I don't think doing weekly videos is really too much of value for me, especially once I start working, but we'll see how that goes. I did put in my 1, 2, 3 stitch order in a couple days ago. I think it should be coming in on Monday. Survival juice right there. Coffee. So that should be coming in, and I'll so instead, I won't tell you what I ordered. I'll just show it to you in the next video. But I'm excited for some of the stuff that's coming in that. So few things fell in because they were on sale. Not too much because again, I know I'm not going to get to a lot of stuff, so I don't want to accumulate all this stuff that's not going to get done, and then it'll haunt me and nag me in the back of my head, and that's just aggravating. I do have, what about you guys? Do you have like a ridiculously long wish list on 123 Stitch? I think that's what satisfies my urge, is I just put it on the wish list and then it's almost like I bought it. You know, I have it in my possession, but I don't actually have to buy it. And then you can look at it after a while. Sometimes it's like, oh, why did I like that? And then you take it out off of the list, which is better than buying it and then not liking it, right? So maybe someday I'll get some of those things. I'll look occasionally, I guess, when I do an order. That's what happened this time. I saw a few things that were on clearance or had a good sale, and they were smaller items. I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll get this one this time. Pinterest is kind of good for that too. You gotta be careful with Pinterest though, because there's a lot of you know, stolen charts on there, so you don't want to do that. But it's a good place to look at cross-stitch patterns and save them in your folders, and then you can kind of go back and either, like that particular item, you can go find later on if you want it, or just like ideas of what you might want to do, something along this idea, and then have like a bunch of those designs whenever you're ready to do something along those lines, and search for a chart that's, you know, I can't think of anything right now, but, you know, like unicorns or whatever. I want to do a unicorn one. Let's look at all these different ones and see what kind I want to do. Yeah, so I have a really long wish list on 123 Stitch. And then especially with like the new kids now, and me, not the new kids, the new kid, there's one, only one. But with both of the kids and me only being part-time still with work, I mean, we're not strapped for cash, which is why I'm comfortable being part-time versus going back full-time. But, you know, I grew up very frugal. My parents are not of great means. They came here, they're immigrants, and, you know, they worked like dogs in factory jobs to be able to have what we have, and we did it by being frugal. You know, they were able to pay for the majority of my college education, and we still were able to take a lot of great trips, and it was by them just being smart about what they spend their money on. So they've kind of instilled that in me. Not that I don't splurge. I splurge when I want to splurge. More than they probably did, because I have a better job in paying than they did. Although Dad had other revenues by having apartment buildings, so that helped a lot too. He worked like a dog being a landlord, though. Man, I never want to be a landlord. That scarred me for life. Me and my cousins, because my uncles did too. And we've seen the hassle that they've had to go through with some stuff, and that is just, nope, not happening. Granted, the town I grew up in is not the greatest, so some of the tenants were not the greatest. Some have been fantastic, and they've been there my whole life practically. But I've seen the dark side of being a landlord, and I do not want to deal with that. Sorry. Not happening. We had considered, since we're trying to sell this house and buy another house, we considered renting out this house. Well, we didn't. My husband did, and other people have suggested it, and I've just flat out said, no, not doing it. And then my husband was like, why are you being so stubborn about this? And then we were at my cousin's house one day with all my other cousins around, and he brought it up again, and it was a chorus of all my other cousins going like, no, don't do it. I mean, it could definitely be a good experience. And we have the base nearby here, so a lot of military families sometimes are looking for houses, and so you know, you probably will get a little bit better of a tenant in that case, but not necessarily. And I just don't want to deal with it. I already have 2 kids in my own house I need to deal with. No, not happening. How many times can I say no on this topic in one video? Okay, how did I get on that? I don't know. So that, oh, and then I also, this past week, learned about the Linens and Threads free sale that they have going on, and that's really pretty. I don't know what I'd do with it. I don't know if because it's really long. I don't know, but I did sign up for it, or not sign up for it, but I joined the Facebook group on it, and I'm going on the page, and I save the chart for every month so far, but I haven't started it, and I don't plan on starting it this year. It might be something fun to try for next year. So I am watching everyone else do theirs and getting ideas. So I don't know, whenever I do start it next year, I'll see how everyone else's is looking and decide, do I want to do a variegated floss? Do I want to do multiple colors or keep it monochromatic? I kind of like McKenna's idea of doing just the middle part. And that could be like kind of a bell pull that I can hang somewhere. There's always somewhere in the house where there's that little thin piece of wall and you want to put something on there. But that's something for next year. I am following it though, just to see, you know, how it's going to be looking, and I'm saving the patterns, but nah, it's not happening this year. There's too many other things. It is very nice though. I do like it. And that's it. The baby's still sleeping, so let's see if I can get through the tags that I wasn't able to get through last time. And I'll go back, and I was doing Tracy's talking tag, and I'll start again from the beginning. And it'll be really funny if I say things different this time than I did last time, and you'll catch me on a lie. Or I just maybe say it both ways, or being too self-conscious of how I say things, so we'll see. Okay, so say these words. Aunt, route, or route. If it's like a highway, like a street, I'd say route. But if you're going to route something, then I say route. I think. Yeah, I do. So I don't know when I see the word right away which way I say it. Wash, oil, theater, iron, salmon, caramel, fire, water, sure, data, I think it's data. Oh, I think I hesitated last time on that one too. I think I say data. Ruin, crayon, toilet, New Orleans, pecan, both. Again, probably, spitting image, Alabama, lawyer, coupon, mayonnaise, syrup, pajamas, caught. What is it called when you throw toilet paper on a house? TPing. What is the bug that when you touch it, it curls into a ball? Roly-poly. What is the bubbly carbonated drink called? Soda. What do you call gym shoes? Sneakers. What do you say to address a group of people? If it's a casual setting, probably like, hey guys, something along those lines. In a more formal setting, just hello, I guess. Hello everyone, maybe? I don't know. What do you call the kind of spider that has an oval-shaped body and extremely long legs? Ugh, daddy long legs. I hate spiders. Oh my god, I hate spiders. I love that they get rid of the other bugs, but I hate spiders. What do you call your grandparents? So in Portuguese, grandfather and grandmother is avô and avó. Very similar. A-V-O, it's just a different accent mark on the O. So avô and avó. One is a little bit more open O, and the other one's a little bit more restrained. So I would call, my cousins and I mostly would shorten it to vo or vó, so you just drop the A in the beginning, and then sometimes add their name. So like my grandmother, Anna, or Anna, as I say in Portuguese, she would be vó Anna, and then my mother's side, it would be vó Etelinda. Etelinda. It's a good name. But then most of the time it was just vó or vó. My kid, so on my husband's side, which is, my husband's Ecuadorian, so he called, my son calls his grandmother, my mother-in-law, abuela or buela. And then my mom and dad, avó and avó. So it's good, you don't have that fight over who gets to be called Nana, you know? It's officially different in both languages. So no one really fought over, I've always wanted to be called, you know, whatever. Although, so again, because it's such a subtle difference between grandma and grandpa, he had a hard time distinguishing between the two. And so he actually doesn't say vo or va, he says vovo and vava, which is kind of even more cutesy way, more endearing way of saying grandma and grandpa. So it's avó, you can shorten it to va or vavó. That's confusing, right? Okay. A little Portuguese lesson in this video today. Lots of them. So he got vovô for my grandfather, for my dad, for his grandfather. He got that one pretty quickly, but then when we tried to tell him my mother, his grandmother, was vavá, he would point to my grandpa and say, no, vovô. And it's like, yeah, I know, but it's a different O, and he just wasn't getting it. So we said, okay, let's try and change it. We'll say Avó Marina. Marina is my mom's name, so Marina in Portuguese. So he kind of got that one, but he couldn't really say Marina. He just kind of caught the end of it, and instead of Rina, he got Nina. So R-I-N turned into N-I-N-A. So he calls her Vó Nina now. So it's kind of cute. It's kind of fun how like those kind of nicknames come about, you know. In turn, my mom calls him Olhos de Azeitona, which is olive eyes, because he's got really big, dark, brown, almost black eyes that look like two little olives in his face. So that's an adorable nickname too. She used to call me growing up Cookie Face, cara de bolacha, because I had a really round, I guess I still kind of have a round, it's not that round, but I had a really round face, I guess, so she would call me Cookie Face. Yeah. Another tangent. Okay. What do you call the wheeled contraption in which you carry groceries at the supermarket? It's a grocery cart. I might call it a shopping cart when I'm in other stores. Grocery cart or shopping cart? Grocery cart definitely if I'm in the grocery store. What do you call it when rain falls while the sun is shining? Rain? Sunny rain? I don't know. Rain. What is the thing you change the TV channel with? Remote control. Sometimes shortened just to remote. Very rare occasion I'll say clicker. I used to say clicker more often, but I think right now it's just remote or remote control. Between the two. Hey, so I got through that one. Do I have time to do another one? Yeah, close up of my head there as I'm trying to look at the kid. Yeah, okay, let's see if I can do another one. Okay, so this one's the general stitching tag. How often do you stitch? Once a month, week, daily? And how long is your typical stitching session? So before the newborn was born, and my son was pretty regularly scheduled at this time, I would get at least an hour, if not more, after he went to bed and before I went to bed, depending on how much stuff I had to do. Because he goes to bed at about 8. His father puts him to bed. So I can pretty much start stitching right away. And then we go to bed at 10. So that's 2 hours. But usually we got other things to do and prep for the next day. So at least an hour in there I was able to stitch. Occasionally I would get some stitching time too when I got home from work, if I got home early enough. Because I got home first, took out the dog, and then I would, get dinner ready and then pick up my son. And if I was home really early, I'd get a little stitching done in there before picking him up from daycare. That's probably not going to be the case from now on. Now I kind of stitch whenever, because it's just whenever I have a moment, there's nothing really regular. And then I can't really stitch in the evening. My son still goes to bed at about 8, but the baby is kind of off and on nursing and fussing. Not that she's really super fussy, but she's off and on nursing in the evening. Sleeps really good in the morning, which is why I can do a video right now. She does usually 1 or possibly 2 really long naps in the morning. She's on her second one already right now. Like an hour, sometimes 2 hours in the morning. 2 different naps for an hour or 2 hours each. But then the afternoon, she's kind of fussy until bedtime. And then she was sleeping really well, but not so much lately. So now I've gotten some stitching time in the morning while watching the Golden Girls. And the baby's napping. I usually can count on that. And then it's just sort of throughout the rest of the day whenever I can find a moment. So, yeah, I don't know what it's going to be after this. And it's been pretty much every day. Like I said, today and tomorrow I won't stitch just because I've got some other things I need to do. And that's it. And then, let me finish this tag and then I'll talk about what I'm going to do for future stitching. What's the longest one-time session you had ever stitched for? Ooh. I don't think I ever recorded it, but I'd say there might have been a day or two when I was, when I was pregnant towards the end and I was getting home earlier the days before, because I took a few days off before. No, I didn't take a few days off. What am I talking about? I was on part-time, so I had Thursdays and Fridays off anyway. Right before the baby was born, I just lazy around at home. And I must have had like maybe a 4-hour stretch of stitching. I think more than that. Even those, I think I remember doing that and I just felt too achy of sitting there for too long doing that. I think kind of like threw my whole day off. I don't do well sitting still for too long, I think. Show my favorite needle minder. I don't have needle minders. What does the way you stitch say about you? I'm a busy mom because I do it whenever I can. And I'm very simple. I don't have needle minders or you know, frames or anything like that fanciness. Although I am interested in possibly doing scroll frames for some projects down the road. I think they can be helpful. But yeah, I'm simple and a busy new mom. Not a new mom. I have a few years under my belt already, but you know, new to 2. Is there one piece you stitched that didn't turn out the way you had wanted it to? I don't think so. I think everything's pretty much been what I wanted it to be. What do you find the easiest thing or type of pattern to stitch? Things that are solid colors, I guess, so you don't have to do a lot of needle thread changing. But that can be kind of boring, so. Are you planning on starting a new piece in the next year that you would consider a challenge? The Mirabilias that I plan on doing this year and next year, those I think are going to be challenges. I mean, it's not like the Teresa Wensler, the castle one that I did with the dragon, because I had a ton of blended threads, and that's a big old pain in the butt. But the mirrors have different challenges. Beading I've never done, all these new different types of threads that I've never worked with, silks and metallics and all that. So those are going to be my challenges, yeah. I mean, I'm not scared of them, but we'll see how it goes. What is the best stitching product you were enabled to buy? I don't know if I was ever enabled to buy. Oh, maybe for this next order. I put in an order of Thread Heaven because those metallics are challenging. and we'll see if that's, you know, a handy one. I think that's it. Anything else I've been enabled to has been patterns, so that's not really like a best product. It's a chart, it's not a product. Okay, so I'm starting to hear the baby a little bit, so I think she's going to wake up soon. There's one more tag in here, but we'll save that for another day. Hey, let me know what tag you guys like. How about that? Tell me what tag you guys like in the comments below, and I will do the tag in my next video. That works out better. Let's do that. Plans for the next couple of weeks on Saturday, April 1st, April Fool's Day. I hate April Fool's Day. I just do, but anyway. I'm going to be starting the Coffee Quaker Sal. I am excited for that. I already have my cup out and ready. I've been using it. Not my Coffee Quaker mug. That is really cute, but I didn't order that one. But I do have my Gilmore Girls. Please, Luke. Please, please, please. Mug. So I have that handy and ready. So I'll be doing work on that probably for a week, starting it on Saturday and didn't work it for a week and a day, because I'll work it through the next weekend. And then the Monday after that, I'll probably get back to the stocking, because I haven't touched that in a while. So do at least a week of that. And then I'll do Moscow. And then we'll see where we are. I probably will go back to either the Coffee Quaker, probably the Coffee Quaker Sal, and then repeat again to the stocking another week. So that's it for the next couple months. I do have my eye on a pattern in my stash that I just recently found as I was digging through stuff when I was looking through and finding this thing. I saw a pattern that I had bought a couple years back, a couple of patterns actually, that I might want to do for the girl, for her room, whenever she does finally have a room. We'll see if I actually want to start it or not, because I have enough going on. They're pretty simple, because they're just like 2-3 colors max. And they're not big. I think they end up being like a 5x5 on 14 count Aida, or 28 count even weave, but I think I'm going to use the Ada that I have sitting around. It should be enough for all of the patterns. I really want them because I think they'll look cute, but on the one hand, I already have enough things that I'm stitching, and I know my time is going to get limited. And she also doesn't have a room at the moment. She's in our room. But then they'll be done and ready for her room, right? We'll see. Okay, I think that's it. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you're as excited as I am for the spring that's starting. Maybe we'll chat about that in my next video, because I'm definitely getting that spring fever. Let's clean up and organize. Of course, with the toddler and newborn, cleaning up and organizing is just... I should show you like a legitimate view of my living room most days. I'll do a video of the mess that happens and just shame myself on YouTube. That would be great. And the stockpile of dishes in the sink and the clutter on every flat surface in the house. See how I have everything, you can't see what's on the table down here. You can't see my counter over there. Maybe I'll shame myself one day and then talk about how spring cleaning is definitely nagging at me. But yeah, I hope you're all getting excited for that. The weather's finally starting to turn pretty sunny around here and getting warmer. We're in the 50s, 40s still most days, but we're getting a couple of 50s days here in southeastern Connecticut. And enjoy your stitching. Some outdoor stitching would be really nice. That would be really cool to do. Maybe if it gets a little bit warmer soon. Yeah, get the baby out there, let the boy run around. It's still too cold for the baby out there. Well, if I bundle her up enough. I mean, I'll take her out strolling and stuff, but for just hanging outside, we'll see. All right, everyone. Bye. Happy stitching.